The interview felt like just formality, ne? I happy we are not getting to IT part. Yeah. Yeah, when they told me that I'm through and I must come to work and start working, only to find that, guys, I was going to sell SIM cards on the road. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Millicent Musuwo and this video is another story time. Wow, I didn't anticipate to do a lot of story time this year, but you guys asked and I'm gonna give you what you asked for. Anyway, I posted on my Instagram asking if I should do a story time video, about how I became a business analyst and how I started my career, right? So it's a funny and a little bit painful one, but I'm gonna take you through the whole journey. If this video becomes too long, please forgive me. I just wanna give you all the juice, okay? Anyway, okay, let me start with how I fell in love with business analysis. I I studied at Valley University of Technology and I studied information technology. I think I have a get to know me video that talks about how I got to VUT, right? So I'm just gonna build the story from how I became a BA, right? What are the other jobs that I had to do for me to get there? So at Val, when you study IT, business analysis is one of the major subjects. So that was the case for me. I'm not sure if that's still the case now, but I majored with business analysis, and that's where I fell in love with BA. Basically, when you finish with like the course, you'll be required to do a project and I think for 6 months before you can graduate, right? So after finishing all my modules, I was waiting and applying to get an in-service training. But you have an option to do it at school if you cannot get an in-service training at a company or in corporate. So someone called me. I think one of my cousins called me, and they told me that those rich uncles who come home on holidays, and they start telling you to give them your CVs because they're gonna place you their jobs. Yeah, I also had an uncle like that. So that uncle said to me, please give me your CV. I'm gonna be hiring in my company. Yeah, people were like, yo, Millie, you are so lucky. I mean, we just completed the modules already. You are starting, girl. Yeah, I was so excited. And they were saying I was going to work in Joburg, right? And well, the uncle called me and then he was like, when do you want to start? When you feel like you are connected, you even choose the starting date. And I was like, I don't remember when I started, but I think it was sometime in Jan, if not Feb, if I don't remember. And that was in 2014, first semester, because I graduated in 2014 September. So okay, I went. Okay, he actually asked me, Hori, what do you wanna do? Then I told him, and then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna make you an IT specialist. Mind you, I just completed my studies. I didn't even know what IT specialist meant, and okay. I went to the company and obviously I didn't have much and he also wasn't going to pay as much. So I looked for a room. I actually had my neighbor address stayed in Soweto, and then I contacted her and then she said to me, look, I'll help you look for a room, in Soweto. It's going to be easy for you to travel from Soweto to Joburg as opposed to traveling from VUT to Joburg. Yeah, I was so happy. You guys know my story. Like, I didn't have any means of income. At home, we didn't have any means of income. I was like the hope in the family, and I was going to change, my background. I also have a video of how I changed my background. You guys can check it out. I'll leave the link. I don't know where we leave the link. Yeah, somewhere. So I went there and then I found a room. I was traveling, I was using a train, right, to travel there. So come the first day when I got to work, Kuro was taking, I was wearing my best and in heels. You know me, I carry. So when I got there and then obviously like when you join the company, usually they start a meeting where they're gonna introduce everyone. Also, my two other cousins were also working there as well. Oh, okay. When I got there, he's introducing us and he says, this one is an IT specialist. Then, like, I'm feeling myself. Guys, only to find that I'm going to be a receptionist. So I was a receptionist, I think, for 3 months. So he kept promising me, no, don't worry, you're gonna start as an IT specialist. But also when I looked in the company, there was really nothing to do. Like there was no IT work to do because the company was about it was like a political party, and they were standing up for employees who work in people who work in construction, yeah, something like that. Yo, there were times I would be so bored. Like those people, my job was just to answer calls and then to direct them to the right department. So sometimes I would be so bored, like I would just like drop those calls because I really wanted to do BA, but I needed the money to pay for my project. I went to with my first salary. I think I was earning 3,000 that time. So with my first salary, I went to register for project at school, and at the same time, that's when I started taking care of my siblings at home as well. So I remember my rent. I was paying 400. You can imagine the condition of a room that was worth 400 per month. And I was obviously sleeping on the floor, traveling with the train. Guys, you know how it feels like if you're not in South Africa, like yo, I don't know, maybe I'll I'll show it, or just Google, how the train situation is. It's so hard, and it's really, I felt unsafe, for the first month because I'm coming from Limpopo. It's quite slow, and coming to Joburg in an area like Soweto for me, yeah, so the job wasn't worth it, and obviously I knew what I wanted to do. So I told myself that, you know what, I'm gonna use the money to register, and also to be able to apply, because when you don't have any means of income, it's very expensive to look for a job, to print those CVs and everything. That used to be very expensive for me. Okay, cool. Um, towards the because I told myself that I'm gonna start applying. I think towards the end of the third month being there, I'm realizing, gape, I'm not going to do like an IT job. I'm just gonna continue to answer the calls. And we used to work even on weekends. Yo, it was so hard. And sometimes we would not even get paid on time. We'd get paid like after the 7th or the 6th. So it was just so hard. Living there was the hardest time of my life. I don't wanna lie to you. So I started applying, and then I got a call. I was so happy. They said to me, come for an interview. Our company is based in Germiston. And I was like, is it an IT job? They're like, yeah, sure. Yo. You see this interviews where they tell you or they wear black and white, or that's a red flag, guys. There is no way. Yo. Okay, anyway, I went there. When I got there, I'm very good with establishing relationships. So I made friends. I met two other um girls who also came to an interview when we were there. And then they were also wearing black and white. And then, okay, we went to the room and then we sat down. And then after sitting down, they said to us, they're going to call us. And then the next thing, they're like, Millicent and so come. So now we are, like the three of us, we had to be interviewed at the same time. It didn't make sense for me because I thought when you go for an interview, you're supposed to be interviewed only one. When we got there, they asked questions, and how they were doing it, it's like there were so many of us, and they just wanted to take us like three, so that they can interview anyone. So the interview felt like just formality, ne? Happy we are not getting to IT part. Yeah. Yeah, when they told me that I'm through and I must come to work and start working, only to find that, guys, I was going to sell SIM cards on the road, MTN SIM cards and Vodacom. So after we realized there's something dodgy about this job. So we were complaining about it. So as we were complaining in a lift, there was a man in that lift. That man was, I think, the sales manager at Sanlam. So that man was listening to us, being frustrated, feeling, expressing our frustration about that interview and everything. And then he said to us, wait a minute, where are you from? Then we told him, you know what, this company just like came to the building right now and it looks like it's a fly by night. Chances are you guys might work and not get paid. So he told us about cases where people come to work and then when it's month end, when you're supposed to report to work, the company is gone. Maybe you find a salon or something else. So obviously we were not interested to go back there. So then he said, "Are you looking for jobs?" You're like, "Yeah." I don't, okay, I'm actually hiring. It's what did he say? He also overpromised. He said it's sales executive, something to do with executive. And I was like, "Yeah." So how do we apply? He said, "No, just give me your CVs." So we didn't have our CVs. But I had like a digital CV on my emails. So he was like, "You guys can go print the CVs. I'm not gonna be in the office, but my PA will be there. Just make sure you drop them there." Guys, that time I'm so desperate for a job. Remember, I went to school and I'm a firstborn and I just wanted to change my background, right? So, okay, we went to print our CVs and then we came back. When we came back, we gave the CVs to the PA and, I was like, please make sure this man gets my CV. When you are begging, please make sure he gets my CV. I can even do anything. Okay, so the lady was like, don't worry, I'm going to give him the CVs. Okay, cool. Few days down the line, we get a call for an interview. When we went there for an interview, we are told we're going to be selling policies. So for me, I was, okay, the other two girls that I were with, like they decided, okay, we actually exchanged numbers. We even created a group so that we can inform each other when we come across posts. So they were like, nah, I'm not going back to Sanlam. As for me, I was tired of the Soweto living arrangements where I was staying. I was sleeping on the floor every day, and the money was not even enough for me to buy a bed because I was taking care of my family. At the same time, I was paying my fees, my project fees at school. So then I thought, you know what? Since my rest is paid up, I can actually go sell policies. It's better, and then I'll stay at rest. I'll travel from rest because at Sanlam they said you don't need to come to work every day. You only come to work on Fridays. So it wasn't going to be hard for me to travel like from Val to Germiston just to submit business and come back. Ne? That was the best decision I ever made actually, because if you sold like one policy that maybe the person is going to pay like 200 rands premium per month, they multiply that. I think they were multiplying it by 5. So then for that sale, I was earning like 1,000. Come the first month, like, when I'm talkative, I know how to work well with people. And I also had a very good relationship with the security guard, the cleaners. I would always share everything that I had with them. And then, okay, I started work at Sanlam and my project was ending. I think I started somewhere around July or June and I was going to graduate in September. Come first month. Okay, before we come to the first salary there in Sanlam, how I got there, I I I didn't have to go, to the street to sell the policy. The cleaners and the security guards, those were my clients. I used to have a very good relationship with them. So let's say the morning shift security come, I'll present the policy to them and tell them why they must buy and cover their families, they must have funeral cover. Most of them didn't have this kind of knowledge. So because I was taken through training, so I was able to do their needs analysis, and then from there we look at what they can afford. Ne? And then the morning shift security will inform the night shift ones. Like, that's how they got me customers. My first salary was around 14,000 rands. I sold so much, guys. I was so happy. Went home, took my mom for shopping, my brothers, kurbona. And then, okay, I was able to fund the whole graduation thing. And then I also managed to like buy an outfit, a nice outfit for myself for the first time. Managed to do my hair. Like I was looking so beautiful. I'll actually share my graduation photos. Like that was like the best moment for me. Actually, my mom was just crying like the whole time. She was telling me that even when she went back home, she was crying in the taxi and people didn't understand, but she just couldn't hold herself. It was just tears of joy because she couldn't believe that we'll actually get there, based on how the process was for us. But yeah, okay, now I graduated. uh, Going to continue to stay at rest was not an option because I've graduated. No one was going to pay for accommodation. Then I decided that, you know what, I still want to be a business analyst. Let me just go home. Okay, I think that time my younger brother got a job. Like he always wanted to be a soldier. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to withdraw my pension and give it to him so that he can go work. Then now it will be his turn to now take care of us while I look for a business analyst job. So yeah, that's what happened. And my brother left in June. And then I did my last sales in November. And then I took all the money and gave it to him. And he went to establish himself. Then he did a stop order for us. So we started receiving money from him the same way I was doing for the family. Now he was the one doing it for us. Okay, then I started looking for a job, guys, and the first one that I got, yeah, this is so fun. The first one I got, they told me that I'm going to get paid like 1.7, and I'm coming from Limpopo. I have to pay rent, and it was like more like support work. It wasn't like IT support. It wasn't like what I wanted. So still, I couldn't take advantage of their computers and networks and everything internet access to apply for the job. So I turned it down, and then the second one. I was more like a, a receptionist, but but for IT people, IT support people. So in IT support, I feel like they treat it like it's a job for males, because when I was there, I was the only female, and they would just make me a receptionist because I'll be the one to receive calls and tell them that there's a client struggling with this. I'm gonna forward the call to you. Then they'll be the one to do the resolving, of issues and everything. So because I was at that company, and I think they were paying me 5,000 rands that time, so I was able to do a lot of things. I started applying, and that's where I learned how to save. And I started applying while I was there. And then I saw this girl that I studied with that she went to India. She got a job with some IT company. I called her and then I asked her information about the company. She told me the name. And that's when I contacted the company. I think I did a video about how I forced myself into that company, but I'll just explain it briefly now. So I called, I don't know if I should mention the name, but I'm not sure if it's allowed. So let me not mention in case. And then I called the company and then I asked if they were doing intake for internships. Then they said to me, I can just send the CV and they will forward it to HR. And then the lady forwarded it to HR. I still didn't get the call. And then I called again and then she was like, you know what? Let me CC you. I'm going to inquire for you. Okay, cool. So when she CC'd me, there was email signature where you get to see cell phone numbers and everything. I made sure that I saved those numbers so that I can now deal with the HR directly. So then I called HR. I kept following up. Guys, this company knew my name. They knew my voice. Every time I called, they'll just say, Millicent, right? And I'll go like, yes. So they're like, no, we'll let you know. You're going to have to start by writing a test, blah, 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 blah. If a week go by and they don't call me, I would call again until they called me to come write a test. Then I wrote a test. After writing a test, they still didn't get back to me. the whole semester, and they took a certain group and I was not taken with them. They just told me that I failed that test. So the test had nothing to do with IT. It was more like it had a lot of politics, if you know anything about your country, something like that, and I don't understand why, So I was not taken that time, but I'm going to tell you it wasn't God's plan, or it wasn't time yet, because I didn't give up. I kept calling them again to say, I want to apply again for your next intake. So they told me they're going to do another intake in the second semester of that year. I think it was in 2015. Yes, it was in 2015. So, yeah. So I continue to contact so I continued to call the HR, and eventually they told me to send the CV again. So I updated my CV and sent them again. And then they called me for a test. Now I knew how the test was like. Oh, it had maths as well. So then I went there and then I wrote it, and then I asked them that how long will I wait to know if I passed the test or not. But I was very confident that time because I'd written it before. So they were like, they'll let me know on Monday. Monday, nothing happens. I'm still a receptionist at that company. And by 4 o'clock, I was like, you know what? They still didn't get back to me. I'm going to call them tomorrow. The following day, I called, and then HR was like, your name is actually on the top of the list. We're going to announce this week when you're going to come for an interview. Okay, cool. They eventually announced, and then I started praying, preparing. When you're preparing for an interview, there's this song, Yan Tokozombamba, that used to can again, in the shadow of your wings. Good, you know what? That song, it used to be my song that time. So then I prepared for that interview, and in the morning of the interview, I decided to check my emails, only to find that they canceled the interview. I was like, no ways, I'm not going back. I'm going to the interview. I went to that company. I acted like I didn't even know that the interview was cancelled, and the receptionist told me that I can wait for the person. They went to a client. That is why they canceled the interview. So I was like, I don't have money to come back again. I can wait. We can even do the interview like when he's done with whatever he's doing. Guys, I forced them. They had to do an interview for me. And they asked me questions. They asked me SQL questions as well, more like database questions. And actually, I was struggling, but they could see that, you know what, I have this drive. And I just ended up just telling them that, guys, I want to be a BA. It's my passion. I really love it. And I promise you, I won't disappoint you if I just get this opportunity. So they're like, they'll get back to me. Eventually they got back to me. When they got back to me, they told me that I'm starting the following month. I didn't even waste time. I resigned at that company, and I went to at that company where I was a receptionist. They didn't really want me to go, guys. I had to tell them that it's a matter of life and death. I have to go. So I had to go. And then I joined this company, and they prepared me. We started doing visas and everything. They took me to India for training in Jan, day after my birthday. My birthday is on the 6th of Jan. I think we left on the 7th, and we were there for 3 to 4 months. I don't remember. But all I know is that in May, when we came back, they said to us, the reason why we hired you guys is because we wanted to place you at our number two biggest client. Their client was Discovery. So I worked at Discovery, and that's where I started my career as a business analyst. I went to train as a BA, and there was some technical training as well that they gave us there. It was really, really, really useful. The best opportunity, like my career highlight, actually. So why did I say it was God's plan for me to not be hired the first time by the same company? Because people who were taken in that first semester, it's like they didn't really have a plan for them. Yes, they went to India for training, but when they came back, they were just sitting in office and there was nothing. And most of them, when contracts ended, their internship ended just like that. So with the second batch, which I was part of, we were like literally trained for specifically for their client. So when we came back, at least we were able to access big organizations like Discovery. It's not easy to graduate and go straight there, you know. So, well, at that time, I don't know now, it wasn't easy at that time. So when they placed us at Discovery, I started as a more like a BA trainee. Yo, I worked. I remember me and my friends would work like from 6 a.m. We'll be at work, 7 p.m. We'll only be leaving. And also, there was just so much to do, and it was so exciting because it didn't even feel like work. And no one told us to come early, and no one told us to leave late. It was just like we had like a lot of opportunities to learn. The projects were super exciting. Working there is the highlight of my career. If if I didn't work there, I feel like I wasn't going to be able to do my work the way I do it now. You know, I learned so much, so much. And also, I didn't have a senior BA, you know, holding my hand. I didn't have anyone. I was just like thrown under the bus, and I was expected to deliver a project. And we did it. And also the resources at that time, they were limited. Even they didn't have enough project managers. So we learned so much, guys. And because of that project and how we were dedicated into that project, the head of that department that we were in decided that they will take us permanent, and they had conversations with our company. They actually buying us from them, and that's when we started as officially started as a junior business analyst in 2017. Yeah, guys, that was like the beginning of my beautiful career. And yeah, I started earning like junior BA. And because now I had confidence, I had like experience, I knew what to say in interviews. And now I was getting to be approached by other companies in the banking industry. And I joined the banking industry, and then now I joined consulting industry. So it was just been exciting. So that's the end of the story. That's how I became a business analyst. If you want me to explain what a BA is all about and what can you do to become a BA, let me know in the comments below and I will tell you. But I hope my story really inspired you guys. For me, I go for what I want, guys. Like, yo, that's literally what I did throughout the journey. Obviously, I had to keep this story short, but really, that's all I went through for me to become a business analyst. So I can say I fought. I really fought. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and share with your friends. And thank you so much for those who have subscribed. And if you haven't, please, I know that if you access the link via social media or WhatsApp, you'll not be able to subscribe because it will require you to log in. You can just search my name, Millicent Mosuo, on YouTube so that you can be able to interact with me and give me the comments. Thank you. And also subscribe. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.